Yo, hey guys, it's Poppin' Jock Slade here. Back with another unboxing, and as you can tell, I have something very, very special for you guys. This is the collaboration between Union and Jordan Brand on the Air Jordan 1. So out of nowhere, this shoe has become, I would probably say, a top runner for sneaker of the year. There's obviously two of them. This is only one of those two, but Jordan Brand and Union created something that created a buzz in the sneaker world that we haven't felt in a very long time. Now, I already gave you a preview of the shoe, but I want to really start with just the box of the shoe. So the shoe was designed by Jordan's NRG team, which is a team inside Jordan Brand that creates what they call energy releases, and the sneaker store slash apparel store slash streetwear brand Union Los Angeles. The owner of Union Los Angeles is a guy named Chris Gibbs, and he's really into like vintage and old stuff, and that's really what he tried to do with this shoe here. So taking a look at the box, you can see they use some of the old school branding from the Just Wing It ad for the Air Jordan 2. There's like an Air Jordan 11 sort of style, Air Jordan 3, just a whole bunch of different things. This is what they call the energy box. If you got the Justin Timberlake Air Jordan 3, the one with the Nike swoosh, the Tinker Jordan 3, you saw that it was in a box similar to this. And this box alone actually mixes up a bunch of different Jordan boxes together. So obviously you see here like the Nike, this is the traditional box that you get when you get a pair of Air Jordan 1s. But then here at the front, you see it has that flap that kind of exposes a little bit of the box. So that's from the Air Jordan 3. That's the box that those come in. But then even here on the side, it has the little ring, which is something that we get with the Air Jordan 11. So they were able to combine a bunch of different Jordan boxes together to create one box, which is actually pretty cool as well. So let's get into the shoes, and because I really want to give you guys the details of these shoes. I know we've all seen them, but there's a lot of stuff on these shoes that they did that is really dope. So it's just a plain black on the inside of the box here. But when you get to the tissue paper, that itself is something very special. So I'm gonna take the shoes out here, but I wanna show you the tissue paper first. So I'll take the shoes out, and here you go. As you can see, this is the black toe version of the Union Jordan 1, the energy release of the Union Jordan 1. So let's get both of those out of here. And let's put this box down to the side here. And if you look at the paper, is I'm on the right side? There you go, turn this way. If you look at the paper, you can see that it actually has sketches on the paper, and these sketches came from the design session, and these sketches were actually done by a guy named Paul Savavici, I believe his name is, that works at Jordan Brand. So when he met with Chris Gibbs' team and the Jordan Brand team, this is what they came up with, which looks really dope. So you can see they have the Air Jordan and then the Union there. Then they talk about some of the details that you'll see on the shoe here, such as the laces and how the laces are going to be stitched together. Has the OG Air Jordan 1 bottom, but the energy box lid, the people that were there, the material that they're going to use on the swoosh, what the midsole would look like, how the leather would feel. Really dope detail. I love that they went into this much detail with this sneaker, because it really goes to show you that they really thought about the storytelling and how this story will come across to us. And I think that's kind of what contributed to the hype of this shoe, because the shoe was so well done. All right, with that being said, let's take a look at the sneaker. So first thing off the bat, the shoe is two different shoes from 1985. For those that don't know, the Jordan 1 was introduced in 1985, and this shoe introduces the white and gray colorway as well as the black toe colorway of the shoe, and combines those two together. When Chris Gibbs was thinking about how he was going to make this Air Jordan 1, his thought process was he wanted to find someone that loved the Air Jordan 1. They loved it so much that they started stitching together their different pairs when those pairs would fall apart. So in this story, so to speak. The Air Jordan 1 white and gray from 1985 fell apart, but the black toe version was still okay. So he took the upper of the white and gray model and stitched it to the upper of the black toe model, which I think is really dope. And some of those details come out really, really well. He wanted to give the shoe the vintaged, worn look, and he was able to achieve that with some yellowing and some fraying on things like that. So first we see that they frayed the ankle collar here. So this is suede, but it's frayed up to look like it's been old or it's been worn. Keeping with that worn sort of feel, you have the tongue here, which has been yellowed a little bit, but then they also have the foam coming out of the tongue as well, which kind of reminds us of what they did with the off-white Jordan 1s, or what Virgil did with the off-white Jordan 1s, where the foam from the inside was actually poking out of the shoe. If you look at the toe box and all the leather on the shoe, you see that there is a bit of yellowing on the inside, and that's to mimic the yellowing that happens to your shoes. Obviously, from a shoe from 1985, it would be yellow a little bit. And in some of the actual images that they showed from the archive, theirs wasn't even yellow. It was just like this dingy gray color. So the yellowing is kind of, I think, what we associate with aging, especially when it comes to the midsole. And they kind of gave this midsole an off-white yellowish sort of look. I think the yellow here on the leather kind of helps further along that process, or at least make us think it feels old, which is a very interesting perspective to do when it comes to this shoe. As far as the leather goes, just speaking of the leather in general, the leather does feel really nice. They wanted to make sure that they got some really soft, good leather on these, and I think that's what accounts for part of the price jump. Usually these are $160. When I say these, I mean the Air Jordan 1, but this pair was $190 for the collaboration, so you got a bit of a price jump there. Obviously, these were super, super hard to get. They sold out for the most part, unfortunately, but let's go further into these again and get some more details. So when I said earlier that he stitched those onto here, you can see that they actually did some aggressive or like overly obvious stitching that goes right along the ankle collar around the back of the shoe and goes all the way around to show where they stitched on the upper of the other shoe. And I think it actually looks really, really great. Like, they did a really great job of making that pop out, and they popped it in a different color. In this situation, it's blue, which is the color of the other pair of these that were sold exclusively at Union. One thing that's kind of hidden on these is that they do that same stitching on the tongue to kind of complete the upper half feel from the white and gray model, and then they add the stitching there to kind of complete that look on the tongue right there. Speaking of the tongue, you see that the laces actually change up on this model, so it's black laces, and then you get this yellow sort of lace. But if you look really closely, you can see that they actually stitched together or colored together or glued together. I'm not sure how they did it. It looks like one lace, maybe they just dyed it, where it's black and laces at the bottom, and then it actually switches to the white, aka yellow pair. And it's supposed to line up exactly with the lace loop on the tongue so that it fits under there so that you don't see it. It just shows that it comes out a different color. And if you look at back to the tissue paper that Paul Savici, I'm going to say Savici, that he created, you see that he has this, they wanted to do, originally it looks like they wanted to do a zigzag stitch on the laces as well to help complete that look, but it doesn't seem like they were able to accomplish that. They just had the colors switch right directly to another color, which is really cool as well. Now, another detail of these that is kind of hidden, but it's hidden really in plain sight, is the Jordan Wings logo. So this Jordan Wings logo is bigger than the normal Jordan Wings logo, and that's because this one is from the Air Jordan 1.5. For those not familiar with the Air Jordan 1.5, it's a shoe that Jordan wore for a little bit that had the upper of the Air Jordan 1, but it had the midsole and outsole of the Air Jordan 2, and they called it the 1.5. But it was a shoe that Jordan wore, and I believe they've actually retroed a version of the Jordan 1.5 a few times here and there, but that's where this oversized logo comes from right here. And other details include the insoles. So these insoles are exactly like the tissue paper. They have those same drawings that were on the tissue paper. Those are on the insoles as well. Another thing that pops out is the hang tag. So the hang tag, you guys are familiar with the hang tag from Jordan Brand. This one actually has Union here in like faded here, and it's not like the big thick one that you usually get with the Air Jordan 4. It's a little thinner, made of plastic. It's not a hard plastic like you usually got. And this collaboration actually crossed boundaries into the apparel world as well. Last night, I was lucky enough to go to a friends and family event at the Jordan store here in Los Angeles, and I actually picked up the black hoodie. So hold on just a second, I'll show it to you. So this is the black hoodie, Union / Jordan logo there, but then on the back it has Nike and it has Union there with the Jumpman logo, and then it has a pretty cool tag right here. The thing about this is I thought it was more of a black color, but seeing it here in person, it has almost like an olive or like a green tint to it. But even last night when I was picking it up, it's really nice though. It really has a nice wash to it, which they did a really good job with that. Anyway, getting back to these pairs, they come with 2 sets of laces. They have a yellow pair, and then they also have another black and tan pair if you want to put those in. Obviously you have the yellow if you want to put those in, and then the yellow actually matches the Union LA tab right there. So that's their little way of letting people know that this is their collaboration with Jordan Brand with the Union LA there. There's one on both of the sneakers, so you get that there. And the yellow actually matches the yellowing of the rest of the shoe that you get right around the leather and the laces as well. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys a quick look for the final detail. The last thing I got to tell you is about the swoosh. So they put Nubuck on the swoosh here. It's very subtle. You wouldn't really be able to tell unless you really paid attention to it. But everything else on the upper is leather. Just a really beautiful shoe. Now, I usually don't do on feet videos, but for these, I really want to get these on my feet like as soon as possible. Let's get to that. But before we do that, as guys, I always let you know, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching this video. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Union Jordan 1 collab. And if you really like this video, go ahead and subscribe. You guys have been amazing. I thank you. I appreciate all of you. And I'll see you soon. Let's get to that on feet. Peace.